Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Why are my audio so okay, there we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm just letting y'all know that we're running some ads. We got to get through all 10 of them today, so we're going to run some of them before the program starts. But we will be with you in a few short minutes.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube. It is 6:07 in the morning. We played a few breaks beforehand, so now we are going to get into traffic and weather. What?
He just looks so tiny next to the TV with the chair down.
Yes! I swear they did this. You all did this on purpose because, yeah, I'm not that tall, guys. With my heels right now, I'm working with 5'5". Woo.
Mm.
Yeah, but so we're gonna get into some traffic and weather, and I closed my laptop thinking that that wasn't a thing that we needed to do. So let's take a look, and then I'll have you do weather. So right now, traffic is looking actually pretty good. I was expecting to be like, yep, we got some traffic on this place, this place. Nope, 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyways. Oh, there goes my mic. There we
Sorry, I was trying to do some
are.
testing and I was totally
Yeah.
wrong with the mic.
You're good. Chicago Skyways is looking pretty good. Lakeshore Drive is looking great. Borman, Dan Ryan, all looking amazing. Even the Stevenson and the Eisenhower, everything's looking good. Are people driving? Because this doesn't look like it. But we do have an entrance ramp. Wow, entrance ramp closed due to construction on Kennedy I-90 East at Canefield Road, exit 80. That was updated about 9 hours ago. So that may cause some traffic here and there. And then we do also have a new thing, scheduled long-term ramp closure on the Reagan Memorial I-88 East at I-294 Illinois 38 Roosevelt Road. And is going to continue until next year, December. Wow. All right. And it may not reopen until, let's actually read this. This gives me a whole thing. So starting late Sunday evening, November 2nd, long-term interchange work is scheduled to close the exit ramp from the westbound Reagan Tollway I-88 to the southbound Tri-State Tollway I-294 until December 2026. This is also the ramp drivers on the outbound Eisenhower I-290 use to access the southbound Tri-State. Traffic will be directed to detour by exiting onto the westbound Roosevelt Road and doubling back at the York Road interchange. In addition, the exit ramp from the outbound Eisenhower onto the northbound Tri-State, which has been closed for years as part of this major project, is now not expected to reopen until late 2027. There we go. We got some news with traffic. You want to do weather?
Sure. Okay. It is Thursday, the night before Halloween. It's very spooky. We're gonna have a high of 56, a bit of breeze and clouds with a lot of sun. Tomorrow you're gonna get much of the same. It will go down a little bit with a high of 54, so it'll be chilly for all you trick-or-treaters out there that are up at 6:10 in the morning. Um, and then we'll have some clouds. And then as for the weekend, much more clouds, barely any sun on Saturday. You're going to have a high of 51, but the sun will come out to play on Sunday, and you'll have a high of 53. And that's your weather for the rest of the week.
There we are. So, we later on today, we are going to have Frank Ravan on, and we are going to be interviewing him, asking him about different questions. So, if you guys have questions at 7:30, go ahead and put them all into the chat. We will also be taking phone calls, but like each time that we have somebody like that come on, it is one question only, and then we got to drop your call so that way we can get everybody else's questions as well. So we're going to be a little bit stricter on those, but he is only here for 30 minutes, so I am thinking about maybe 15 minutes of just me interviewing him, and then the other 15 minutes is going to go to the questions that the callers and anybody in the YouTube chat has. So go ahead and put them all in there, and I will have the chat open up here so I can see some of the more reoccurring questions, and then we'll go from there. So that's going to be at 7:30. And from there,
Are you going to use any of the questions I sent you?
I don't even know if that was a question. You sent me a picture. And I was very concerned because I opened the picture in class. I was like, "What is this?" I was very 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 concerned. But yeah. So we're just gonna be talking for like the first hour and a half. I want to try to not do politics until we get Mervan in here. So hence why there's no preparation of politics because it's going to be the same things you're hearing. And we do know that Chrissy Nome, director of I think it's Homeland Security that she is, and also my goodness, it is the governor of Indiana, Mike Braun, will be here in Gary, and that is that press conference is scheduled for 11 a.m., but reporters have to be there at 9 a.m. And I'm like, there's a 2 hour waiting period. I saw that and I was just like, okay. And yesterday, Jim was asking a lot of us, hey, can you go? Can you go? And I think we're sending Andrew Garcia out there for it. And for that, I was just like, he's like, can you go? And I was just like, we're still on the air, unless he's gonna come on the air. But you didn't tell me that, so I think Andrew's just gonna go. And when I told him about the 2 hour waiting period, we said one of our famous gym lines that we can't say on the air. Yeah, so Joe, you know about that one. But so we were just like, okay, so we'll see what the outcome is of that. There's a lot of mixed feelings in the region. That's what I've been hearing in the past 24 hours. So we'll go from there on that one. But we're just gonna kind of be talking here. So for the month of October is almost over. Spooky season is almost done. We got one more day of it. Late Night Madness is gonna be happening at PNW tonight, I believe at 9:30, and they always have people come in costume. And this year, I'm actually able to watch it instead of like being performing with the cheerleaders. So I'm super excited to see that and to eat as much of the food as possible because they always have like some decent food. They got Domino's, they got some ice cream, they got bunch of other stuff. That was just the two main things I remember because those are the only two that I could actually kind of get at that time. So I'm excited to see it. And then they always have some pretty cool T-shirts. I know last year they had one. It was kind of cool, and I always see students wearing it. And it's like the skeleton with the basketball for Halloween. So I think that they try to plan it more so towards Halloween for that. But that's super exciting. That's happening tonight at the fitness center, and this kind of kicks off basketball season for that. And so now, for the month of October, it's spooky season. And in my family, we have a lot of birthdays in October. Yesterday we celebrated my brother's birthday, and he turned. You okay?
Yeah. I forgot my
Okay.
mic was on. Sorry.
Well, no, I saw you get up, and it's just like agony in your face. I was just like, okay. And also I'm rolling over this cord. Let me not break any more of our mics. But we celebrated my brother's birthday yesterday. He is 25. He is a quarter of a century. So I was just like, you're getting old. But that's all. The younger siblings always say, this is your chair because it just went back like this.
Hmm.
So I know this one's your chair instead of that one. But we celebrated his birthday, and I got him his birthday cake that he wanted, and all he wanted was these. I'm actually gonna close this because I'm that short. Yeah, there we go. All he wanted for his birthday was a SpongeBob cake that says, "AJ, do you know what is funnier than 24, 25?" And it's SpongeBob and Patrick just cracking up in boating school. That's all he wanted. So, and he texted me at on October 1st because his birthday is on the 28th, but we celebrated yesterday, so because everybody wasn't working. So we celebrated, and on October 1st he texted me. He said, you have 1 month, about 1 month, to make this one birthday wish come true. And I was just like, it's a ton of pressure, thank you so much. But I got him the cake that he wanted, and Calumet Bakery there in Lansing, fire cake, it is amazing. And I had it 1 year for a friend. She had it for her birthday, and she got like the multi-layer cake with all different kinds of filling. It was an amazing cake. I usually don't eat birthday cake, and I had a piece, and I was just like, give me another one. Give me another one. It was so good. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it from there for him. It was actually pretty like decent price and everything. And I asked him, I was just like, okay, well, I got you your birthday cake. You already know you're gonna get that. What else do you want for your birthday? He was like, oh, never really thought of it. I'm like, thank you. You are such great help. Amazing help. A top tier, A plus, 100%. So then I got him. He loves WWE, so I got him a few wrestling T-shirts, and then I found this little plush. And I always ask him how work is because he works at Lear Corporations, and when they're kind of really hectic, really busy, he likes to joke around. Even though he loves the job so much, he's like, it was a dumpster fire. We were just like going left and right all over the place. And he always tells me that as a joke. So I found these things on my retail job, and they had these little plushes, and one of them was a dumpster fire, and it says, I'm fine, everything's fine, and it's just like everything's just like in the world is melting. So then I was just like, that's what he's gonna get. He pulled it out, he starts laughing, and I was just like, Yeah, got it. So, and then I was like, I'm not gonna even ask you what you want for Christmas. I'm just gonna guess because you're such help with your birthday. So we're just gonna guess. But his birthday was on the 28th, and then my baby cousin's birthday. I say baby cousin even though he's 17 years old, and I'm like, stop growing. But his birthday, he turned 17 was I believe a few days before my brother's birthday, and they celebrated. They took him to all the different trunk or treats because that's one thing that he enjoys. And he was a little cowardly lion. He came to the one in Wicker Park, and I was so excited to see him. And the trunk or treat at Wicker Park was actually very, very successful too. There was almost 2,000 kids there, which was really crazy. And but my family was just like, so what time should we get there? I was like, you got to get there at least 30 minutes before and get in the long, long line because that line was just wrapped all the way around. And I know you couldn't even get into Wicker Park.
Oh my gosh. I had to park across the, honestly, I'm glad that I parked across the street. Why does Wicker have one entrance?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Adrian
Getting out.
Santos, are you listening? Please put another entrance into Wicker Park because it was insane how many people. I mean, I loved the event. It was
Yeah,
so
it
much
was
fun.
fun.
I had a great time dressing up as Jed, making fun of Adriana when anybody with an ugly mask came around. It was a great time.
Hmm. There were some really creative costumes
There
for
were some
kids.
great costumes from kids. I mean, more effort than I had ever put into any costume ever.
Yeah, honestly, growing up wearing Halloween costumes, if you didn't get your costume from Party City, which Rip Party City, you're no longer a thing. And it's not Spirit of Halloween, but if you didn't get your costume from there and it was just like you just kind of made your costumes, and I remember like looking back at some costumes, I'm like, what am I? I don't even know what I am. But I don't know. I think my favorite costume of all time as like a little kid was Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz because of the red sparkly shoes. And I remember being that 2 years in a row because I just love The Wizard of Oz so much. Even though I know kids today they'll watch it and they'll be bored out of their minds because it's so like slow paced and it starts in black and white and then goes into the color. But it was just like a great little movie. What was your favorite costume as a kid?
I remember, so I was one of those kids that like just kind of dressed up as like a football player every year or something. But I remember how excited I was when my parents got me a morph suit for the first time. You remember morph suits?
Were you a certain color or were you a monster?
I was a skeleton.
You were scared.
I was a skeleton. But my favorite Halloween costume probably comes from my friend AJ.
Hmm.
His birthday was last week, actually. Shout out to my longest known friend, AJ.
Woo.
Um, but he dressed up one year as Ariel. Yeah. I I don't know how to
Wait, hold
preface
on.
this without
Wig and all.
wig, lipstick. I
So he was in drag.
Yes, he is. So, okay, I guess yeah. He's a straight man, and he was like maybe 11 at the time. So I don't know if dragon was a thing back in
If drag.
2009, 2010. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
he was definitely.
Dragon
I
was a
mean, he was so proud of it too, and
There you
like
go.
he
That's all that
loved it.
matters.
I've never met any kid in middle school with just like zero
He had all the
tolerance
confidence
for
in the world.
yeah, like just
That's amazing. At 11 years old.
yeah. It was so funny.
Great job for him.
Yeah, I mean, wait, I probably have the
Do
picture
you have the
somewhere.
picture?
I'll
All
I'll
right.
try and
Well,
find
you
it.
find the picture. Well, we can talk about that. Yeah. Man, you were one of those kids that was just like, yeah, Jersey, way to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh man.
it just I didn't like wearing all those different things. I mean, it's still the same. Today I showed up in a snuggie for work.
Is that why you haven't put the camera on yourself?
Yes, that's exactly why I haven't put the camera on myself.
Yeah, but so last week we were teasing what we were gonna be for Halloween, and I think the picture's still on the laptop if you pull it up. If not, then I can resend it. But we were all Jed for Halloween, and it was so funny because he didn't know what we were. And all this effort, even though it was very minimal effort, but all this effort that we put in to look like him, and he didn't know what we were. But everybody else knew. Oh, let me turn off my ringer. There we go. That might be a good idea. But so we we get to trunk or treat and we all wear our Jed outfits. And like I was saying, I had this one shirt and it had the collar and kind of shirt, like the illusion over it. And I was just like, oh, this is super cool, super cute. And I bought it, and then coming to work the next day, with my purchases are still at home, but I come into work the next day and I'm like, can't wear this to work. Nope, I'm gonna look like Jed. So wore that. The guys wore their. I think you guys both wore Jet TV.
Yep.
Yeah, the Jet TV
And I had
quarter
a little
zips.
collar shirt
Yeah,
underneath.
collar shirts underneath and
Pop the
everything.
collar.
And we brought in the headsets. I remember taking these, but then it started drizzling, and we were freaked out for a second because I was just like, not. I was just like, I don't need to. This equipment cannot go bad. So it started drizzling, but then luckily it didn't start downpouring, which was good. And we got that. I brought some of his coffee mugs, and I think some are still in the bins, and they probably need to come out of those bins so the bins don't smell
They're
like his
definitely in the
coffee.
bin still.
Yeah. Well, cause and then we also bought seat cushions because every single time that Jed is either sitting in there or he's sitting out here, he always has the seat cushions. So we brought those as well. I got 3 of those, and we brought them out there. So we had that. Everybody's wearing jeans. It's a great old time. So at North Township, they knew exactly who we were. Kuziak Construction knew who we were. Everybody knew who we were. It was great, and we didn't have kids come up to us being like, "Where's your costume?" So I think it was a win in our books. But so Jed comes with his wife and the grandkids, and they look so freaking cute. The kids were so cute,
I've
and
never seen Dread dressed like that before. It
in
was
a
so
hoodie.
proper. No, like I don't know what he was. It was like a vest, and he had like some sort of turtleneck or something on. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
He was wearing a hoodie, my guy.
No, he was
Yes,
not.
he was. I have the pictures.
All right, pull it up, bro. I'm calling your bluff.
You're calling my bluff?
I'm calling your bluff. He not wearing a vest when I saw him?
No.
There's no way.
Oh, he was. He was wearing a hoodie
Oh.
underneath. We're both correct. We're both correct. He's
Oh.
wearing a hoodie underneath.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just thought it was a there you go. Yeah, he was just proper. But the his granddaughter was Elsa, and his grandson was an astronaut, so super cool costume. So we're sitting there and doing trunk or treat and everything, and it wasn't until somebody pointed it out to him, like, hey, you like what your producers are dressed up as? He's like, yeah, they look nice. And they're like, you know, I'm like, do you know who we are? And he's like, no, who are you guys? And I'm just like, we're you. And he starts laughing. He puts 2 and 2 together, finally realizes it. We're like, we put all this hard work in. The latest reaction.
That's so Jed though,
Yeah, it
honestly.
is. But I forgot that I wanted to make a short little video that we can put on social media, and it is gonna be, what is your favorite Jed quote? Because mine was, I gotta go walk the dog. I don't think you were here for that one, were you?
No.
So when he did the morning show, this was last summer, so not this past summer, but last summer when he did the morning show, his daughter had a dog, and it has to be let out every so often because it was still kind of being house trained. So he'd end the show. He's like, "Yeah, guys, sorry, gotta go walk the dog." Show ends, and sometimes it ended a little earlier than it needed to, but he had to go walk the dog. So that was kind of the running joke in the studio. He had to go walk the dog. But that was my favorite. I don't remember what Matt's was. I think Matt's is the ad that we have for, I think it's the carpenters, where it's do you like working with your hands? That ad that plays it here on the radio, I think that one was Matt's. So, what's your favorite Jed quote?
I don't know if I have a quote, but like I was saying, like that clip of Jed tripping over his own headset thing that I sent the other day
Yeah.
was easily the funniest thing ever.
He's gonna be listening in the morning, and he's gonna be like,
It's fine.
"What?" But yeah, so trunk or treat was so successful.
I knew my dad was gonna find it. Hold on, I got the picture.
You
I
got the
just have
picture?
to,
Okay,
I
so
gotta email it to myself.
there you go. But yeah, so they took my baby cousin because that's one thing that he's able to enjoy because he has special needs, so he has autism and he's nonverbal. But trunk or treat is something that he really likes to do, and it's a little bit more comfortable for him because with regular trick or treating, you go to different houses. It's not so much like his forte. Doesn't really vibe with that. Trunk or treat, he can get behind trunk or treat, and he loves when Paul Goddard, you're really funny. He said in the thing, he's like, Jacquel, I like But yeah, so he loves the trunk or treat, and he loves especially when he can get some gummy bears, gummy worms, anything like that because he is gluten free, but that's something that he can eat. And every Christmas he loves when me and my brother, we always get him a big box of fruit snacks. That's his favorite thing in the world. And that he likes these little hats that they look like the little Eskimo hats that are very like very big and furry. He loves those because for some reason. So I was just like, okay. But I was so excited to see him. He was a little lion, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you're not a cowardly lion. You have all the courage in the world, my guy, because you're out here with us. So I was so excited to see him. And then also in October is my late grandfather's birthday, so he would have been 79 this year. So we always celebrate his birthday by going out to eat to one of his favorite restaurants, and then also having one of the big chocolate donuts because he loved that throughout his lifetime. He loved eating sweets, and I'd get on him for eating sweets because I was just like, nope, that's too much sugar for you. And so every year for his birthday, he'd always ask, can you make me a cake? And I was like, yes. For your birthday, we make an exception. You can have cake and you can have 2 slices. And he's like, only 2? I was like, yep, only 2 slices. Sorry. Usually you can only have 1. This time you get 2 slices.
Holy mom.
I there was one time I remember. Well, wait. Do you have the picture before I tell the story?
My Gmail isn't loaded, dude. I'm gonna throw my phone off a cliff.
Send it to my.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's
Oh,
not
your
the
Gmail's
app.
not loading.
It's not the app. It's my phone that needs to get thrown into orbit.
Can you
Right?
airdrop it to me?
Hold on.
And then I'll
Okay.
email it to myself.
I want to pull it up on the thing. We should also take a break.
Okay.
Not that I have to be like very vigilant about
No,
this.
you're good. So before we take a break, I'll say this, and then I'll tell the other story when we come back. But so Matt had told us that we have 10 breaks to play, and he put me, Joe, and Kuziak in a group chat. And mind you, Matt could have just told you this,
Yeah.
but it's whatever. But
No,
so
I
then-
appreciate him telling Kuziak this too. To be honest with you, because he wouldn't believe it if it came
So
from
then
me.
we're gonna make this radio friendly. And so Matt tells us that we have to play 10 breaks, get them all done and everything, like a whole long message. So then Kuziak goes, got it. Joe, don't mess it up. So then Matt goes, it's all on you, Joe, for the next 2 days. Kuziak then goes, that's a lot of faith to put in an Andre and Grad. And then Joe says, I think it's a lot more faith in getting the 2 Bishop grads to stop talking every once in a while. And then he asks you, how do you spell touche? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
So you're gonna have to say that story when we come back from break.
Well, I do know how to spell touche. I don't know if that's just an Andrean thing or that's what I wanted to say in the group chat, but I didn't know like how far.
Okay.
The good thing about Kuziak is he loves to dish it, but he'll always take it. You know what I mean? And I think that's why Kuziak and I get along well on
Yeah.
Fridays.
All right. Well, let's take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna show that amazing photo, and we're gonna keep talking and just have some like good old kind of fun talking, and then we'll get into politics later on, and then that's when everybody in the comments we can rip each other's heads off. So you are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. morning, everyone. You are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube. So we are going to get back into it with traffic and weather, and then we are going to show the most confident 11-year-old I think we're ever going to see. And then we're going to go to the phone lines. So let's take a look at traffic and weather. So traffic, let's see, do we got any traffic? 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. 90 going east and west is looking pretty good. Chicago Skyways, toll roads are looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. But we do got a slow ramp to the inbound on the Dan Ryan Stevenson I-55 north before I-94. Exit 292. That was updated about 30 minutes ago. And we may have a little bit of slowdown on the Eisenhower going both ways, just a little bit, and that's due to the slow traffic on the exit ramps there. And that's all I got for traffic.
Okay. Well, for weather today, I almost forgot what the word was. It is going to be a high of 56 with some breeze and clouds. A lot of sun, though, today. And then tomorrow on the spooky day of Halloween, it's going to be some nice weather. It will be a little chilly with a high of 54 for trick-or-treating. It's a perfect time. Make sure you guys throw on a hoodie on underneath or over your costumes.
Or a snuggie.
Make sure you guys stay warm. Or a snuggie if you guys aren't feeling well in the morning and don't have time to get ready. And then as for Saturday and Sunday, it is going to drop a little bit more with a high of 51 on Saturday, mostly clouds, and actually some showers in spots, so keep an eye out for some rain. And then on Sunday, it'll clear up a ton with mostly sun and a high of 53.
There we go. All right, so let's see this picture
All right.
that you have.
Let's I'm sorry,
I'm very
AJ. I mean, this is on my mom's Facebook, so I guess it's fair. It's
Can you zoom in?
all love and game. So this is me right here to the right
The
in my
morph suit.
in the skeleton morph suit. This is my buddy Eddie.
Look at
This
him!
is Superman, and then this right here is
I
my
love
buddy
the
AJ.
execution. There you
I'm
go.
telling you, he spared absolutely no detail on this at all. Like even the
Even
bag.
the bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that kid.
I mean, he loves. Honestly, I don't even think he'd care that I'm showing this in front of
Nah,
a
he
few
rocked
hundred
that
people.
costume. Look
He
at
loves
him.
it. He loves it.
There we go.
So this was back when Halloweening was like cool. You know, it was just about.
Halloweening was cool.
Yeah, I mean now, kids like there was as many as there were kids that showed up and dressed all cool and fun and stuff like that. There were just as many kids that were just a few years older that didn't dress up as anything because they thought they were too cool to trunk or treat, man.
No, we saw some older kids there.
And some older kids did have some costumes, but most of them were just kind of like
Hoodies.
yeah, and then they would still
Snuggies.
ask for candy. I'm like, I think you guys missed the point here. But whatever. What am I gonna say? No.
Exactly. You're gonna deny a child candy. How
Yeah.
dare you?
Oh, I did a couple times. You know, if you picked right Twix.
Oh my gosh. So why did you and Matt start doing that?
I don't know.
Was it just
We
like a time before Twix were segregated that you were just like, yeah.
Well, we brought it up. We were like, oh, like, or I was talking to Matt, and I was like, are you like a left Twix or a right Twix kind of guy? And he's like, I'm probably a right Twix. You look like a left Twix kind of guy, though. And I was like, what does that mean? And he goes, no, you just look like a left Twix kind of guy. And I was like, I am a left Twix kind of guy. That's where it's at, man. Like, what the heck? And then we were talking about the time before Twix became segregated. And then, yeah, then we decided to start a competition. So I won. So by the way, most people in the town of Hammond are left Twix.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
So Halloween's coming to a close, and then also it is now Dia de los Muertos, which is super super exciting.
My puppies came back the other day.
Yeah,
All my
which
puppies.
is so exciting. I don't remember. I think today is it's the 30th.
Yeah.
The puppies came back on the 28th.
Mhm.
The 29th, I think, is anybody who was tragically killed, and then the 30th is, I believe, children, and then 31st is adults, and I think the other 2 days it's like I think one of them is saints, and then I know the last day is every single person. I don't remember the exact dates, but I remember that they have something alongside with that. But Yeah, it's super exciting. I saw the ofrendas that my family made, and I was so excited. I went home and I was able to see the one at my house, and it's very heartwarming because we put everybody, regardless of they are part of the Hispanic culture or not, put everybody on there to make sure that they are able to come back for the celebration. And usually for our friend though, we put some pan dulce because that's one thing they all loved. Lottery tickets because every time you see them, they'd have either a lottery ticket or like one of the scratch offs. So we put scratch offs off there. Lucky $10 bill and a couple quarters and a diet coke because for some reason that's all they would drink. And we'd also put up some sports memorabilia. One thing that everybody in the family could agree on is being a Bears fan, which I know is going to get so much hate because the Bears, sometimes they're doing good,
Mhm.
sometimes they're not. I haven't been keeping up to date. We got three callers, so we're gonna go to the phone lines and
Sorry for
then
making you guys wait, guys.
yeah,
It's
sorry
on
about
me.
that. I was
First,
yapping.
yeah.
Joe forgot to tell me.
Hmm.
How dare you?
I just love listening to you yap, man.
Yeah, there we go.
Ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, guy and gal. How you doing today?
Doing well. How are
Great.
you?
Alrighty. First of all, um, Joe, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if the thread said that you were filling in for a BNI grad or whatever, then I guess you could say it only takes an Andrean grad of a couple years with minimal experience to cover somebody with all the experience of a BNI grad.
You could say that. I guess you could say that. I've been on the. It's been a few months, honestly, not a few years, but I will give him. I will give one BNI grad credit, and that's the one sitting across from me. Kuziak, you get nothing.
Dang,
But
I thought you were gonna flip it.
no, but Adriana did a great job teaching me. It's about the only good thing I'll say.
No.
Kuziak gets
Well, yeah,
nothing.
and that's not to go against Adriana. I'm just busting Dave's
Oh,
I
chops.
know,
I
we know,
know.
we know.
A couple things though, as a loyal listener of WJOB, couple things just to bring up in front of the boss and whatever else and whoever's program and directing and whatever. I believe that's you currently, Adriana, isn't it?
Um, I
Kind of,
think
sort of.
program director would be like master play and all that, so that would be Matt. But I set up the schedule for the shows.
Okay. First thought, and like I said, this is just one person's opinion. Um, Maybe put a larger mix into the rotation. We hear the same segments probably 5, 6 times in a couple days. Time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know that. I've been telling our producers we gotta cut clips of other shows. The reason why you're gonna hear a lot of like the Tuesday and Thursday ones is because I cut them up, and then the other
She's full of
producers.
herself.
Yes, I'm just like on that. No, it's the producers' jobs on Monday, Tuesday, like on the days that we produce. That's when we cut our clips, and it's just because the producers are listening to the show, they know what to look for. So that's also why. But because of midterms, a lot of our majority of our producers are still in school, so midterms are over. So we're definitely gonna fix that.
sure. I mean, and there have been times where we've heard some music, whether it was Motown or Sinatra and Dean Martin or whatever. I mean, just
Yeah.
mixing it up is a variety, and that was kind of nice. Um, and then the other issue is ever since things switched over from the Jed TV app, it's kind of hard to navigate shows on YouTube. Is there anything that you guys can do to control that, or is that all YouTube
So,
controlled?
so my best suggestion would be turning on notifications on YouTube because if you turn on notifications, then you'll get the pop-up on your phone when it says, "Hey, Adriana in the AM is live now." So then you can
Yeah,
literally click on it from the home screen, put in your password, and
right.
it should take you straight to the live stream.
And and it does, and I get those notifications. But I'm talking about like, say for example, if there's a clip from the Tuesday morning program, and it doesn't play all of it, and you want to go back and listen to that segment, it's kind of hard to navigate through YouTube to try to get back to that program.
Okay, so what you do is if you go on to WJOB 1230, there should be a bunch of like, hold on, I'm gonna pull this up with you so that I am not misinforming you in any
Are we
way.
talking on the YouTube app, or are we talking Safari?
On the app, on your computer, on your TV, whatever it is, this should work for everything. So,
'Cause I work out at the mill, and a lot of times I get dead spots, so it's like I want to be able to go back and listen to what I missed, And
right. So, what you can do is if you go to the WJOB homepage, there should be a bunch of like subcategories at the top. Let's say video, live, podcast, playlist, post. You just want to click on videos, and it will take you everything from the most recent thing that we have posted all the way down.
okay,
So you could do that. If you scroll down on the homepage, so you stay on the homepage, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have started to create some playlists. I will say it's probably not as up to date as it should be, but
The playlist?
yeah.
No, the shows go straight to the playlist.
Okay, well then I don't know. There's only a couple on here then, because I don't see any of the main shows on here.
Mhm.
But
because
anyways,
like with the Jet TV app, you could go back to recent, and then you could pull up Dave Kuziak, and then it would list all of the
yeah.
Dave Kuziak shows from the
So
last month or whatever.
so it won't be listed as recent. It'll be listed under the videos subcategory at the top, and then
Okay.
it'll be already pre-listed for you by the latest. So it'll go from the most recent post that we have, or the most recent live stream that we just finished, and then go down.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not techno savvy, so I'm just trying to figure out, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's having these types of issues.
No worries at all.
All right. Well, thank you too, and I hope you have a good day. And remember, don't take a whole lot of crap when people start calling in from the van.
Mhm.
You got it. Have a
Alright,
good one.
Thank you. All right, got another caller?
Two more.
I'll take the call.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Does this thing sound different? I mean, do I sound like the last time I ever called you? Does this sound different?
You sound
My
beautiful,
voice?
sir.
Well, because last week I had to get a new phone. I heard you like so you think I got two apps on my phone to get straight. I had to get a new phone before mine blew up. Now I got this different headset, so I look like you guys with these things on my head. Because my car doesn't have Bluetooth. My old Bluetooth that I had when I drove a semi is not the greatest anymore. So I got a new one. It's kind of nice because it's like listening to you in stereo. But, you're talking about Halloween and getting out of there one entrance, Well, the reason they did that is because they had the area blocked out because where the kids were at. But the thing is I was there, and I told the wife, I said, I'll not stick around for the whole thing because I want to get out of there and get back home. But I left at 2 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock, I had to have some time getting out of there. She calls me on the phone, says, where you at? I said, in the parking lot, trying to get out of this park. I mean, it was so packed, but it was good, But thing is what I want to, why is Nomi coming to Gary to talk about the Midway Blitz? That's Chicago. Go to Chicago. Stay out of Gary. But I know why she's doing that, and I know why Brom's coming up there, and I know why Moran's in this area. Well, Moran, our congressman, is going to be around this area for that thing. Because he just wants to get his face in there and get a picture, acting cool. To me, no, he ain't cool. He's a burned out flame. I mean, now that I'm retired, last week, I've been getting on there reading about who's all running for offices and stuff, and now I got time. Boy, am I going to campaign, because I'm sick of these politicians that are just sitting there wasting our time, But nice. The thing I want to ask you too is, I don't know if it has anything we're talking about, but you ever have somebody come up to you and talk to you, and they know who you are, but you can't figure them out, and you got to try to figure out who is this person, what is their name? Has that ever happened to you guys?
Oh yeah, that happens all the time, and especially like when people are like, "Oh, I know your parents," and I'm just like, "Cool." Who are you? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
much a
try.
daily occurrence.
I try not to ask the person because I don't want to feel so. Because like Saturday, like 4 or 5 people come up and start talking to me. And I'm trying to figure out because I do a lot of pictures and stuff. And
Mhm.
yesterday, I actually flew my drone. I went to a football field to test it because my eyes are getting better, but my eye doctor, neurologist, or whatever they call him, told
Mhm.
me exactly what to do. Stay out of the wind so no dust gets in my eyes till they do work on my eyes. But I tested my drone yesterday. I can fly it now. I did pretty good. I was gonna have a friend come with me, so it's an eye when it's in the air. But the thing is that cracks me up. Like Saturday, so many people come to me and was talking to me, and I'm trying, who are these people? I'm trying to not act stupid. But why? Why? The thing I'd like to know is why is that Naomi, the secretary, coming to Gary? The Midway Blitz. Why aren't they doing it in Chicago? Is she afraid to go to Chicago? She's going to get shot and killed. I mean,
I don't. I
why are
That's
they
the thing.
coming?
I
Why,
don't know.
why are they coming to Gary?
I know. A lot of there's a lot of different opinions out, and it. I am on that side where I was just like, why? But then also because like Chicagoland kind of region, and because maybe that Northwest Indiana is so close to Chicago, could be.
Yeah,
You never know. But I know there's a lot of mixed opinions, and that's gonna be. It's considered a press conference, I believe, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Sometimes,
that one's
but
gonna have that's gonna have a
yeah,
lot of coverage, and all we can do is just wait to see what they have to say.
your costumes were good. I didn't go walk behind the pickup truck and look to see, but last couple of days I mentioned. By any chance, did you guys have any hair on your back?
No, it was a missed opportunity.
Just Adriana, but I think that's natural.
Yeah, I mean I stood over there a little bit, watched you guys passing out the candy and stuff, and it was just, the most thing I got about it is because when I'm doing pictures and doing stuff, and I'm at events, I'm watching the people how they're having a good time, and it's like all the stuff going on around this area and everywhere. The people just like forget about what goes on, and it's just kids are having a blast, parents are having a blast being with the kids. It was just a wonderful day there. That's
Hmm.
the thing I like. I like about things. Uh, I'm going to let you go so you can get your other caller in and finish your show. And I can't see you because I have my laptop put away because I have a meeting before I take students to get tested, and I'm just listening to you this morning, so I can't see if you got hair on your back like Jed.
No, not
But
today.
all right, but you and the staff at WJOB and everybody out there just have a wonderful and a safe day, and be careful.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go to our next caller.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As an old activist, MX, and I'm looking out for both of your welfare, and I hope you get good jobs and you do great in life. Um, Christy Nome is coming to Gary Airport with Brian.
Hmm.
I got the picture of Christy Nome in a nice black jacket, bulletproof vest, and I had to doctor it up. When your mayor calls ICE agents clowns and Christy Nome shows up to Gary Airport today, I'm going to try to tell you something from uh, an activist myself, an old one. Tom Homan is listening to everything is said. And after some of you call ICE agents clowns, Rokita and Tom Homan had met. It's common knowledge. It's in the paper. It's nothing I'm making up. So now Homan says, if you're we're coming after sanctuary cities. And on top of that, the mayor threw gas on the fire and called them clowns. So let me tell you just a little bit so that you don't say too much, and then when you go for a job, you don't get one. I don't want to keep you up at night thinking about this, but I'm going to tell you something. I went down State with my local 1010, and I had a question mark sign. It said Mike Pence question mark. I was protesting with McDermott and Gary, and Mike Pence seen that sign. I went down to downstate and protested Mike Pence, okay? Question mark, switch sandwich sign. I had that sign. Now, the next thing I know, Chico Hinojosa, who was my councilman, NBC grabbed it when I was protesting Mitt Romney staying Capitol. So when I came back to protest Pence, the Indianapolis police told me to take it off. And I says, well, they said it's okay at the first basement. You got to get your signs cleared. So I was tagged. And that's what Jimmy Hoffa will say that too. You're tagged. You two don't want to tag yourself. I'm being very honest with you. We could have I helped save the Gibson Woods. I helped more property. I stopped BioGreen. We all stopped it together. All my friends here. But what I'm telling you two, and in the words of Jimmy Hoffa, you don't want to be tagged. You want to be careful what you say on these airwaves, because now calling ICE agents clowns, and Rokita met with Tom Holman, they're going to target us now. And I just want to see you guys. I know I tease you. I know I make cartoons. But this is serious stuff. And AI will pick up everything you're doing. Just Google AI, Chuck Poland, AI, anybody. And it'll tell you your history. And you'll pop up over, so what? So you had 1,000 people over there. And I'm happy for you that you went out and protested at Ridge Road in Indianapolis. But there's 700,000 people in Indianapolis. You can't be I put on protest on Kennedy Avenue to stop BioGreen. We all worked together. My buddy, he's passed. I got his picture in front of me. Big Billy, he was my bodyguard. You didn't want to mess with him. But again, and I don't want to keep you up at night. Watch what you're saying because they're listening. Yeah, I'm on WJLB. Like Trucker Mike says, I can say what I want. I've got my retirement. But you two are just starting out in life, and I want to see you on the big news station. But if you tag yourself, you're going nowhere. So I'm not being mean. So
no,
have
I
a
know
good.
that. You look out for our best interest, and it's a good thing.
And what I mean by tagged, Kennedy's went after the Hoffa. Now, John Kennedy ordered Robert Kennedy, Attorney General, to go after Hoffa. Now you see what happened to John. You see what happened to Robert. There's things you can do, and there's things you can't. Mm-hmm. So, just telling you, I wore that sign, and when that guy told me to take it off, that Indiana trooper, you know what I did? I took it off.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, no, I left it on.
No, he said take it off. Mm-hmm. It had Pence on the back, Pence on the front. I protested Pence with McDermott, and Jake Jacobs says, "What does that mean?" But there was two guys at Indy in these top coats, and somebody asked what that sign meant, and I was a little tougher in 2012, and I told them what it meant. Mm-hmm. And I swear these guys in the top coat heard it. The next thing, get the sign off. And all it was a question mark. And you can see it on my Facebook. But I'm trying to tell you, you think you're over there behind the power of that mic, and you don't care what you say. I heard you say that, Joe. I don't care what they think or say. You will someday, because you're going to be tagged yourself, and I don't want to see that. I love you both, and I'll let you go, okay?
Appreciate it, MX.
All right, do we got time for one more caller?
Yeah.
We got to take a break.
Dude, I can't lie, man. I mean, he's making a bunch of valid points. It seems that most of the chat is agreeing with that. Mm-hmm. I do struggle very often sitting behind here with the amount of power that you can literally just say whatever. Like whatever you technically want. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But
because then you get fired.
But there's technically, like, I mean, we do have all the power in the world if you think about it. Like with these mics, I mean, obviously it's catching the attention of, politics and other. I don't know much about this lady, to be honest with you. The head of Homeland Security
Oh,
or
Chrissy
whatever.
Gnomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they're coming out here because of
I
whatever,
hope I'm saying her last name right. I feel bad if I'm not.
yeah,
I
because of.
think I think it's I think it's Chrissy Gnomes.
But I mean, it just goes to show how much power. I mean, even just like this area has. I mean, if
Mhm.
it's like if she's coming out here for something our mayor said, like I mean, the mayor is important, yeah, but there are always bigger fish in the sea. I
Mhm.
guess I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but
No,
it
I
just
know what you're
seems
saying. Yeah, it's scary, and especially like we're going into a field where it is media and everything that you say do literally just you breathe, it's tracked.
yeah.
So it's one of those things, and it's just throughout time, and
Well, I've always been, a very blunt kind of person.
mhm.
I kind of just say what comes to my mind, and if you don't agree with it, then we can have a conversation about it. But you do have to like literally like it's gotten to the point where like I'm making sure like I don't like the wrong Instagram reel.
Yeah, everything gets
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
especially when you're in these field of medias and then
Mhm.
we're trying to get into bigger companies and stuff like that. They're gonna go as, as crazy. Because what if by some crazy chance Adriana ends up as like the third most influential woman in the United States before the age of 27? You know what I mean? So like, and then all of a sudden she finds out that, in her days at WJOB when she was 21, she liked an edgy meme on the internet,
And
and
then they're
then
just
she
like,
gets
yeah, you're
canceled.
done.
Yeah.
That's one thing. It's just like cancel culture. That's all that it is, and you see that every single day, and you see people like they bounce back from it, and then some people they don't, and it's a little scary. So it's just like okay, just watch all the different things. But all right, it's 7:01. You want to take a break, or you want to take the phone call?
This person's been sitting here. We'll get the phone call in.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning. Good morning. It's a very good morning to hear you all this morning. It's a
Good
good
morning.
morning for me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Christian Nome, let me just tell you, our mayor won't be there at that press conference. I guarantee you that. But there will be protesters there, my understanding, and they have a right to protest. They say, why are they coming to Gary, Indiana? The reason they come into Gary, Indiana, our mayor basically he won't be a part of that protest because they say, why are they calling them clowns? Well, they call them clowns because that's how they acting. They acting like clowns, in Chicago. And McDermott and some of those other people, they not wrong. They not wrong in saying these people have a right to protest because we don't like what's going on in this country, okay? We don't like the picking and choosing, and that's what they're doing. They're coming in and round these people up. And I was thinking about going out there myself and join the protesters, but I'm not going because they end up throwing me in just because I'm protesting. They don't believe in freedom of speech. And I heard somebody talk about, I think that was my good friend MX talking about the former Vice President Mike Pence. Mike Pence, do you all know those same Republicans who was the one that's talking about, and Mike Pence ruined his career? He would still been vice president if it had not been for these people. I mean, it's just terrible. It's terrible what's going on in this country right now. We have the man now, the president of the supposed to be the president of the United States. He's going all over the country talking about peace, but there's hell breaking loose here at home. Charity begins at home. What they send $400 million to? What's this place? Lady, what that $400 million to somebody? Is that taking care of home when our thing is down? I can't understand these people. I cannot understand some of these people how saying that Christian Nome. They got this plane flying out there. You turn yourself in, and you can come back. And I hate that kind of that ad comes on TV flying and
Oh yes, the one on immigration.
yeah. I mean, we do. In other words, what they're doing, they're going in, they're taking these boats at the thing, and they say got drugs. Have they got any evidence? That could be people just trying to come here for a better life, And I'm just saying they could turn them around. They don't have to blow them up. I'll kill them. Is this the kind of person that these MX and these people admire? But yes, there when you start talking about our congressmen who trying to do some things for them, and saying that no, well these Democrats got everything shut down. These Democrats, let me ask you, young lady,
Hmm.
who got both houses in Washington?
So yes, you are.
That's
They
easy.
are.
That's an easy one.
Yes,
That's easy.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
The Republican, all three, the President of the United States, the Republican, the Senate, and the House. They
Hmm.
got both. They got both houses. Can they fix it? No, they want Democrats to cross over there and give them some the benefits. Did you know right now the SNAP program is
Hmm.
talking about people not, actually, as of tomorrow, I believe, or the next day, they won't be able to get food stamp for, for the people who need it. But yet still we're going to give me a break for these people who claim that they love Donald Trump and what he's doing is criminal. That is absolutely criminal.
Well, yeah.
And
So,
I don't care who
yeah.
don't like what I'm saying. I don't care who don't like what I'm saying because I know a lot of people who call this state don't like what I'm saying, but they cannot stop me to say what I'm saying. So I'm just simply saying that I'm not calling anybody a clown, but I understand why these people do it. I don't call people clowns, but again, sometimes it's how you act. I came up in. Let me tell you something. I came up in a family of 10, 6 girls and 4 boys in Arkansas. I call it L.A. Lower Arkansas. Okay, I came up in there, and all of my sisters, my siblings, and stuff. We never had one to go to jail. We worked hard all our lives, and I asked my daddy, Daddy, what? I'm going to be voting pretty soon. What's the difference in a Democrat and a Republican? Who should I vote for? He said, well, the Republicans are for the rich and wealthy, billionaires. The Democrats are talking about getting good health care. If people who are mentally or physically can't work, but to give them something. That's what government is supposed to do. Give me a break. And I hear a lot of these people call and say, oh, my benefits and my health care. Hey, they renamed it, that Obamacare. It's affordable health care. It's the same thing. But when they found out it was, they attached it to Obama, oh, I don't want Obamacare. Well, it's the same thing. Give me a break. And they had an opportunity to fix this, and in 4 years he didn't do it. So he's going to come back all of a sudden right now, and the government is shut down, and it goes Chuck Schumer. He's responsible for the government being shut down. Who's the Speaker of the House? I believe his name is Johnson, right?
So,
Right? Y'all
yeah.
know that.
So with the
He's
government
he's he's from
shutdown.
He's from Louisiana. I call it Louisiana. He's from Louisiana, and right now, if today if he want to say let's open up the government, it would be open up.
Hmm.
They have enough to open up the government, okay? But now let's put it this way. Now they have some of the Republicans not going to even go along with that. Saying because right now what's that risk is the fact is that Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security, the premiums going up on everything, and our congressman's fighting so hard. And I don't know how he could tell the story better than I can about what's going on in Washington D.C. But he's a competent person. But yet still, they trying to take a district here, the first congressional district, and Andre Carson of Indianapolis. It's all about for the rich and wealthy. I
Hmm.
mean, why did they give Donald Trump this plane? They gave him a plane for some country. They gave him a plane, all this thing. Why would they be giving us something? And right now, one of his best friends, Putin, he said, "I don't like what Putin is doing." That was your best friend. Donald Trump, right there, said he's a good businessman. Well, let me just tell you something. Y'all probably don't know. He had filed more bankruptcy and was able to get all kinds of money still, filing all those bankruptcies. But he's a good businessman. He came to Gary, Indiana. We know I had an opportunity to meet Donald Trump. Did and you might say, yeah, I met him because he had a casino. It was Trump Casino. It was let me see, but he had a hotel there,
Hmm.
which they demolished it now because Donald Trump took his little money and left town. Like he does everything. Well, I'm gonna do this for Gary. Well, he did. So I'm just simply saying that right now, let us come together. If you are a Christian person, you believe in God, I believe right now this thing, I'm going to put it in the hands of God, and Donald Trump. I don't know what church he belonged to, but I think people don't like for you all saying how you feel, Adriana.
I know they hate it, but it's okay. I don't care.
Oh, no. But again, we have. That's what it's going to take to get this country together. Because these old heads, a lot of time, if you were brought up with your parents believed in slavery and all this stuff, you all say no. Let's be fair about it. That we don't need no slaves in that. And people say, oh, there you go again. Well, I'm just simply saying that's the way some of these people feel. They don't tell you that, you know. So I came up and I could say easily that coming up in Arkansas I could have been hate for people, but I believe everybody, every race of people have a right to do whatever, you know. If they want to support a person who's come from a background of racism, you know, sometimes they don't want to do that. They say we want to go a different direction. We believe that, but it's happening in America today, you know. And God knows I love America. And some people hate to hear me say this. And I'm gonna say this in concluding. I served in the military. I'm a Vietnam veteran. Okay, I served. I could have not been living because I went to a war. They say it was a conflict, but now it's the war. The Vietnam. It was a conflict. It was a war. People died and fighting for their country.
Yeah, I remember
So
hearing the
again,
stories from my family members about the Vietnam War.
absolutely.
I
I'm
hear
glad
those.
you're a very smart lady, and I like the fact is the matter is they have the one day. Y'all need to be on more than one day a week, but nevertheless, I mean, I guess the people couldn't stand. I could understand when the protest is on, they don't call, so y'all kind of be waiting. But when they have certain talk show hosts on, or they call back 2 or 3 times because they can't get it out in one time, so they call back 2 or 3 times, and. So, like I said, would y'all have a great day and just keep
Thank
up
you
the good
too.
work. But Ron Matlock will not be out there protesting. But I applaud those people. And right now, I'm not going to call them clown Christendom, but I'm just simply saying that I guess they are acting like that. So that's why I need to say if you act like that, that's who you are. Okay. With that, have a great day.
Thank you, Ron. All right, so we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back for about maybe 10 minutes, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a longer break because we are gonna do traffic and weather before Mervan comes on, so that way we can jump straight into the interview at 7:30. But you are listening to Adriana in the AM on WJLB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back for about maybe 10 minutes, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a longer break because we are gonna do traffic and weather before Mervan comes on, so that way we can jump straight into the interview at 7:30. right. Good morning, everyone. You are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB. I gotta fix all my stuff. There we go. WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on YouTube. So, we're gonna do some traffic and weather, and then we're gonna get right back into it. Yeah, my chair's a little higher. I can now swing my feet. This is great. Traffic going 80 east and west is looking pretty good. 90's looking good. Chicago Skyway is looking good. We may have a little bit of traffic right there at the connector of the Dan Ryan and the Bishop Ford. Lakeshore Drive is looking pretty good. Stevenson going, hold on. Let's see here. The Stevenson going north right there by South Central Avenue is looking a little bit heavy in traffic, but otherwise looking pretty good. Going south is looking good. Eisenhower going east and west is going to have some traffic both ways. And we see 94 going east and west has traffic just kind of all the way through and through. So just be sure to keep an eye out on those on your morning commute. Got weather?
Of course, I have the weather.
Yes.
So the weather today is going to be a high of 56 with a low of 42. It's going to be breezy basically all day with some clouds, but it's mostly going to be sun. Friday on Halloween is going to be a beautiful 54 degrees, just chilly enough to go trick-or-treating with some clouds and a ton of sun. And then the weekend will be pretty much the same with high of 51, but mostly clouds and a couple shower spots on Saturday, but it will clear up on Sunday and be mainly sunny all day with a high of 53. And that's your weather for the rest of the week.
There we go. So, we're going to do traffic again in about 10 minutes before we go to break when Ravan comes in. So that way it can just go straight into the interview. So, again, with the comments, just make sure you put either call in, and it's going to be just one question right then and there. Not a lot of, I don't want to say fluff because what our callers have to say is very important. The better term for it is kind of like telling the story leading into the question. That's a better term. Just
We don't
question
need
straight
any
to the point.
context.
Yeah,
Just
no
ask the
context.
question.
Straight to the question. And that may be bad because context may be important. But if you can, please, just straight to the question because I know there's going to be a lot of very passionate opinions on Mervan himself as well as what's going on in the world. And that's kind of why I didn't want to get into politics right away because, yeah, world feels like it's burning down and it's depressing. It's like I feel like every single time I go to see my family because they ask me, it's like, oh, how's work? What do you talk about? This and this, and I'm just like, talks about politics, and I try not to have like politics at the dinner table and all that, but I'm just like, it feels inevitable, and it's very much like, okay, but regardless, here we are. So he's gonna come on in about 10 minutes, and we're gonna get that kind of set up. We'll play maybe a few more breaks than usual, just to make sure we have everything set up, lighting, all that good stuff. But it is 7:19 in the region, and I believe the shows that we have today are just podcasts after 9 o'clock. We don't have any community programming because it is the end of the month. That is one thing with doing these shows. No community programming at that very last kind of stretch as we get into the new month. And also, daylight savings is coming up. Push our clocks back. I think it's
I actually
an
enjoy
hour
when
back,
it
yeah.
gets dark at like 5 p.m.
Yeah. At that one, I'm like, I'm ready to go back to bed.
Yeah, well, when you have to wake up at 4 o'clock to get to work on time, you know, you gotta. Sometimes it's nice to be put in the mood for bed at 6 p.m.
Yeah, every time I walk outside to go to work, it's dark, and I'm just like, okay, good morning, stars.
I like
How you doing?
I like driving when it's dark outside because, like,
And then once you get what's it called? Once you get back outside after work's done, it's all bright and everything.
it's weird. It is very weird.
Yeah, and also it's chilly in the morning. But one thing, it's the fog on my car. That's one thing I don't
Do you
like.
not have a in the garage parking spot at your house?
No.
No, you park in the driveway?
I don't have a driveway.
Okay, do you park in the street?
Yes.
Okay.
No, our garage. It's because we don't have like an entrance to the house, like garage house entrance. And then also if we do, because there's 4 people in my family, there's 4 cars, so it would be like parking wars to make sure that the order goes out
Right.
as everybody. So we just park on the street. And one thing with our street, oh my goodness, I love it. Have you been aware of the giant inflatable pumpkins that are in Hammond?
Yes,
Well, my neighbor got one, and we are now a pumpkin street.
that's amazing.
And it made me like so happy. I was just like, I love this because I remember beginning of October, I'm driving home and I'm like, oh, there's pumpkin. Oh, there's a. Why is there so many pumpkins? And it's the same one. I'm just like, who bought out Menards? If that's where you got them from, I don't know if they
Wait,
did.
actually, you parking on the street just reminded me, about something I wanted to vent about.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
was gonna say,
so
I'm like, I don't know if my parking
so
skills are that
obviously,
great.
yeah. Well, obviously, I'm not gonna expose in the neighborhood in which I live in,
Uh-huh.
but in my neighborhood, in my street, all right, you go and there's this like three-way intersection, right?
Mhm.
Halfway through the neighborhood, it's right by a park. That's the only hint I'm giving. It's right by a park. We have two parks in our neighborhood, and so basically as you go up this hill by the park, you have to like take a right to get to this intersection. It's like a pretty sharp right. It's like a full 90-degree turn,
Yeah.
right? And uh, the family that lives on that turn, their driveway can fit all of your cars. Please put your car in the driveway, man. I don't even know how many times that there has been some other dumb person in my neighborhood come flying around that corner when I'm trying to take the turn and I have to squeeze because you guys are parked right on the turn. It's like the most it, oh my god, it makes me so mad. Like it's the most inconvenient thing ever, man. Just park on the driveway. That's why you have a driveway.
So the sound your car makes as it's making that turn.
Yeah. Well, it's so annoying. Like just have some common decency for everybody else on living on that street.
No, around in my neighborhood there we have one lady and she's really nice, but she feeds all the stray cats. So we call them hood cats because they don't care. You can drive up to them and they'll sit there. It's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You're not gonna do nothing. You're not gonna run me over. And then they move last minute. And then I'm just like, okay. But there's so many of them and like they don't care about anything. So I see the cats and at first it started off with like just three. You'd just see the same three. But then like if you just sit in your car for a good like maybe 10 minutes, you see like 13 cats because they're multiplying. So they also are not they're not spayed. So you're just gonna have a bunch of cats. And one morning, my mom, she's going to work, and there's a cat on the roof of her car, just
Sick.
chilling, having the best time. So then I was like, okay. And she was like, well, what do I do? So she honks the car horn, doesn't move. Does it again. Then it starts to move. And the other thing with that and it getting cold is that the cats like to go like inside the car underneath.
Hmm.
But the dangerous thing with that is that if you are in a rush and you don't have time to heat up your car or anything like that, car starts moving, cat gets squished. It's very, very sad because
You
it
sound
happened.
like that. Yeah, I was about to say, sounds like that's happened to you before.
It's happened. My brother's car. He was driving and he's like, something smells. Had to pull out the cat, and we are just like, oh man. So no matter what, even if you're in a rush, just make sure that it heat up your car. Kind of makes what does he do? He like honks his horn a little bit, even though yes, he may be waking somebody up at 5 in the morning, but we don't want
That's
to kill a
crazy
cat.
that you guys actually have to go through that whole process.
Well, we
We
don't want
just,
to kill the cats.
well, yeah, no, I mean, it's very nice, but I'm just saying, like, technically, I think they're feral cats is the proper term.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Alley cat.
yeah, I did like a whole project on it last semester, but,
On cats?
on feral cats
Oh.
specifically, and on
I didn't know you were a bio student.
trap, neuter, and kill. Or
Oh.
not kill. We do not kill them. I'm sorry. Trap, neuter, and release. TNR. I don't know why I just said that. But yeah, there's a lot in this area actually, which is what I've realized. The region has a ton of feral cats,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Trying to
problem
get the
is
region
that,
rats.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just I guess that's kind of like their way because they're building like whole communities at this point. It's the feral cats are if you have an outside cat, they breed with feral cats, and then they become stray cats, or the cats end up with some sort of disease if you don't That's why it's important that if you see feral cats, if you can, or if you are experienced enough to trap, neuter, and return them out to the wild, because they're not going to come and live with you. So the best that you can do is
Mm.
do what you can to decrease the population safely and make sure that the disease doesn't start spreading.
Oh no, they they love the lady loves to all her little kittens. It's funny because you know the brand Chewy that I did my
Yeah.
presentation. That's one thing. Well, our one class. I don't know why. I think I'm like one of like her favorites because she keeps using my stuff as examples, and I'm just like, it wasn't that good.
Oh, Jenny, the woman you are.
I'm like, appreciate you. Yeah, I'm glad I did a great job, but it's every example. I'm just like, there's other students in this class. Please use one of theirs. But Chewy, I did a project on that one, and we see that this, um, what's it called? We see that this lady that's across the street, she feeds the cats. She gets a weekly box. It's a big box from Chewy, and I'm 100% that's a bunch of cat food for these Kit
100%.
Kats. But
I want to say this one thing before we go because there's cars
yeah,
pulling
we are
in,
gonna
but,
go to a break.
Adriana, Matt, and I have one class together, and we talked about this a bit recently, but
Oh, no, what do we? All
Adriana
things.
spends most of her time in this class working on what we're going to be doing today,
Yes.
right? So I spend most of the class making her life difficult. I stare at her computer screen probably all class. I just watching her write emails and do stuff for our station, and then as soon as I have a chance to make a joke or something, I take it every single day. So like yesterday, she was working on her stuff from her van, right? In
I was
class.
answering their emails. Yeah.
Making sure that sending emails, making sure that our Zoom link is vetted, whatever. So she's like, I don't even know what to ask this guy. So I was like, let me send you some questions.
Sends me. I don't even know what you
I
sent
said, if you guys watch Stranger Things, it's a picture of Nancy Wheeler in O Block
me.
on O Block. And I just want to formally apologize because I'm not going to stop and I make that class a living nightmare for
No, you don't. You actually make it fun because I'm over here like locked in, and then you start drawing on paper. I'm just like, go. Thank you. I'm like,
it's very younger brother or older sister kind of thing, which is weird because I'm older than Adriana, so I
Yes,
should
you
be
are.
the more mature one. But
no, I stay logged into that class because that's like the one time that I do have out. Because on Mondays and Wednesdays, actually no, on Mondays I actually have a lot more free time, but on Wednesdays I go work at my retail job in the nighttime. So then that's why I appear more tired, even though actually today the Celsius, guys, cherry cola Celsius. You haven't tried it? It's great. I haven't yawned in this entire time, which
I don't even think you've blinked.
my leg is just going like this, like shaking. But like I'm awake and it's great. And I know we are waiting for my van, so it's okay. But it's I try to do some work here and there that I can because then I just log my hours in a way that it's in one portion, but the one portion of hours is actually just spread out throughout the entire day. And I'm also editing not only for this station but for the other station that I work at too, which I hope they start paying me. But we were getting their social media clips together, and it's 2 hours of footage. So I'm over here, and Joe's probably like, "Who are those people?"
Yeah.
when I'm editing. And then I also send Matt different text messages as well. And I think he forgot that we had another guest speaker. Did he tell you about that? He forgot we had another guest speaker. And he sends me a text message. He's like, I just found out. And I'm like, you didn't know? I thought that's why you were so locked into this paper because you didn't want to do it for the next one. Because you only have to do it for one guest speaker. So he was like, no. I spent all that time and I had more time. I was like, yes.
Wait, there's a third guest speaker?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You're lying.
Yes.
Matt told me that they dropped him. I was tweaking for no reason. I literally went through the same thing as Matt.
There's another one. She rescheduled
I
it.
swear that she just like completely threw it out. Yeah, Matt.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Matt, really, bro? I was
Mhm.
really stressed out that week too.
Okay, well, let's take a look at traffic and weather before. Oh, and we do got some traffic. So we're going to take a break and we're going to get everything set up. And we may have to move the furniture around. We may have to push the chairs that way, move the desk, all that good stuff. But we are going to take a look at traffic and weather. Here we go.
Oh.
Put me back in the frame. There
I
we
thought
are.
we were
No, we're gonna do that so that way, when the interview happens, we can just go straight into it.
But
So, traffic is on the 80. Wow, hold on, let me. Celsius, get into me. Traffic 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. 90 going east and west is looking pretty good. Chicago Skyway is looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking great as well. You're gonna have a lot of traffic on Eisenhower going east and west, as well as Stevenson going north and south. Got weather?
yes, I do. Okay, so today for weather, it is going to be a whopping 56 degrees outside, high of 56, a low of 42, plenty of sun with a little bit of clouds. And then Friday on this marvelous Halloween, the 31st of October, it will be a high of 54, a little chilly for the trick-or-treaters out there, and then some clouds.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we will be right back. You're listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOV, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
And then Friday on this marvelous Halloween, the 31st of October, it will be a high of 54, a little chilly for the trick-or-treaters out there, and then some clouds.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we will be right back. You're listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOV, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
And then Friday on this marvelous Halloween, the 31st of October, it will be a high of 54, a little chilly for the trick-or-treaters out there, and then some clouds.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we will be right back. You're listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOV, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
Chilly
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube. So we're going to jump right into the interview. We did traffic and weather before we took the break. So we want to welcome Congressman Frank Mervin. Thank you so much for being
Good
here.
morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you very much for this opportunity, and from everyone from WJOB and the listening audience. It's an honor to be your member of Congress and to be here with you this morning.
All right. Well, we're going to kind of start a little bit here first, just having conversation, and then we will bring in our listeners as well as our commenters here on our Facebook stream. So I just wanted to start off with basically just the temperature of politics right now. And it is very much, I think chaotic may be a proper term for it. There is one side saying this thing, one side saying the other. It's very much a blame game. And it feels like it's been such a long time, but it's only been maybe September and October.
Correct.
It's only been 2 months.
Through the shutdown.
Yes.
I think the chaos absolutely was very apparent prior to these last 2 months.
Yes.
And so what your question is, how do we end the chaos?
Yes.
And how do we find unification? And I think that what I've always said is something that is a unifier is the economy, making sure people are working, making sure people can afford their utility bills, making sure that food is available and our essentials are provided for the most vulnerable populations. And so to your point, the last 2 months we're talking about the shutdown. I voted to make sure that we sustain and provide health coverage for working families. There are tens of thousands of people within Northwest Indiana that depend upon the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, and they receive tax credits in order to make that affordable. And so the administration for decades and time after time after time after time, multiple times, I think 88 times, tried to get rid of or take away Obamacare for whatever purpose they had. And what I want everyone to know in the listening audience is that what the Affordable Care Act is it's for entrepreneurs, people who have small businesses, which is the engine of Northwest Indiana and a lot of families in your neighborhood. It is also for single individuals. The Affordable Care Act also allows students from 18 to 26 to have insurance. And the glaring one that people should remember is the Affordable Care Act also allowed pre-existing conditions. But we're specifically talking about a tax credit. And I think it's important for this audience to understand that in order to be eligible for the Affordable Care Act, you have to provide your taxes, and you have to provide your W-2s. So also constitutionally, you have to be able to provide proof that you're a citizen.
I was going to ask, that is one of the major debates that we are seeing the Republican Party have, that, I shouldn't say debate, argument that the Republican Party is having is that Democrats want to give health care to immigrants.
Well, I guess the greatest sentence you could say there is, you know how some people can't take no for an answer, and some people can't take yes for an answer? In some instances, people can't take facts for an answer. And so we have to answer, I think this is very prevalent in our chaotic time and political times, is what can't you justify? The fact of the matter is that's not the truth, and that doesn't exist. But we will, the goal, right? The goal is to be able to find, and I say this wholeheartedly, especially with redistricting and where we are, bipartisanship. When I'm out and about, when I'm at Van Til's, when I'm at the YMCA working out, people are saying, please share with me what you have done or how you have shown bipartisanship, and can't we just work together in order to end all this? And I think that there is motivation from extreme sides to create this chaos. But the fact of the matter is there's an appetite for this. And so, I have a call in to Senator Durbin. I'm trying to get an appointment with him. But to end this, I think it's important to understand that in the House, in the Senate, and the presidency, they are in total control. And just this week, so there's this myth that you have to have 60 votes. You have to have 60 votes.
That's what we keep hearing.
You keep hearing that. Well, the fact of the matter is the big, beautiful bill, which we could talk about, which is a reason why we're here, because it cut Medicaid and it cut SNAP already.
Yes,
And it cut,
it's the big beautiful bill that people are bringing up, as well as that Project 2025. Even though they
yeah,
said we have nothing to do with it, it's almost 50% done.
sure. And the fact of the matter is these are conversations that can go on for an hour. But to cut it short, the big beautiful bill cut Medicare, cut Medicaid, cut SNAP. So those are words, but there are real families, parents who have children who are in high school who have disabilities. There are Medicaid waivers that they've waited for 7 years. So the state of Indiana is cutting Medicaid and the federal government's cutting Medicaid. These are real crises for individuals. I've had families call me that say their children are not going to be covered because they can't afford the increases of the Affordable Care Act. That went from $500, and they're out now. These increases could be looked at by anybody, to $800. So what does that do for a private payer, right? Someone who has insurance. Well, it's going to limit access to emergency rooms because people aren't going to have physicians or preventative care. It's going to put a strain on all of our provider systems or doctors in emergency rooms. And we have to remember the chessboard is they cut Medicare and Medicaid. So there's less money going into the hospitals.
Yes.
There's less money going into healthcare. And we have to be able to turn this around and understand that this administration was cutting federal employees, was cutting SNAP and cutting Medicaid and healthcare access before we got this to this point. But you do not need 60 votes. This week, I was in Washington, D.C. yesterday, just flew in last night. This week, with 50 votes, 51 or 52 votes, they advanced 100 judges. The big, beautiful bill, they did it with 50 votes. I want people to understand, the listening audience. They have an option. They have the ability to do it. It is a rule. It isn't a constitutional amendment that they need 60 votes. It's a Senate rule that they waive at their convenience, which leads you to believe that even the Republican majority in the Senate understand when they cut all of these tax credits or they eliminate health care access to millions of people, it is going to have ramifications. So this is worth fighting for. And for people to say, now we have these SNAP cuts, the big beautiful bill cut SNAP. There has been constant pressure on the most vulnerable. And what you have to understand, and I hope people grasp that, if you are super wealthy and you're a major corporation and you can give hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to benefit under this administration. But if you are a working family, a middle class family, the majority of Northwest Indiana friends and neighbors that I have, then the fact of the matter is you're on your own. And so that's what's worth fighting for. And I'm doing everything I can to find middle ground so that we can get back and open up the government. And the speaker hasn't called us back because of his agenda, hidden agenda. We haven't been called back. We could be there right now. So the leader of the majority party in the House, the speaker, has chosen not even to have us in Washington, D.C., which we can be conducting business. The Senate passes something, they send it over to us, we get things done. And I'm on the Appropriations Committee. We should be advancing other appropriations for 2026. So I just want to share that.
Okay. And then also, before we go to our callers and our commenters here, I wanted to ask your opinions on the redistricting. Now, with my knowledge of U.S. history, U.S. Gov that I've learned throughout school, this is supposed to happen every 10 years. So why is it happening now?
Constitutionally, it's every 10 years. You're correct. So it's happening now because exactly what I talked about. It's the failed policies of this administration. They can read a poll. And, again, what can't you justify? And what I mean by that is this started because the President of the United States called the governor of Texas and said, I need 5 votes. Well, the reason he did that, when you dive a little bit deeper, is because after the big, beautiful bill passed, it was understood, and polling said that it was a horrible piece of legislation that punished people, and it increased, for all the listeners here in Northwest Indiana that call in and talk to me about the deficit, Dave Kuziak, business owner, he doesn't get to operate in a deficit. He talks about it all the time. The big, beautiful bill added $4.5 trillion to the deficit and gave the most wealthy the tax credits, gave them the tax breaks. The middle class, and those are permanent. Those last forever. But temporary for 3 years, what they did is they did the bait and switch. They gave tax credits, which I'm going to fight for, on no tax on tips and no tax on overtimes. Well, for the working class, that only lasts, that's temporary. That expires in 3 years. But for the ultra wealthy who didn't even ask for it, that goes on forever. So you're asking about redistricting. These failed policies showed across the nation that polling was horrible for the current party in the majority. Horrible. And they didn't want to take credit. Now, each community, each state is redistricting. My belief is, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if you accelerate and you have all red states and all blue states, you will accelerate extremism. Think about that. You have an all red state in Indiana. I work in a bipartisan way with Governor Braun on making sure we make 8094 safer, combined bringing federal and state funds for what they're going to be doing on a project there. I worked with Governor Holcomb, and my predecessor worked with Governor Holcomb on the double tracking of the train, $1 billion project that put people to work, that connects us to the third, fourth, or fifth largest economy in our country. I worked with the governor and United States senators at the Gary Airport, the Chips and Science bill that brought chips and semiconductor manufacturer to West Lafayette, so our students can learn STEM and the manufacturing of chips and semiconductors. That I worked with Senator Young. Senator Banks and I worked together on the U.S. Steel deal. We absolutely demanded that the U.S. Steel was owned by an American company, and we protect the steelworkers' jobs and domestic manufacturing. So what I mean by that, I'm on appropriations in Indiana. I'm the only one on Indiana. I must, by design of my district, and by what I believe, find middle ground and work with individuals. And when you start having all red and all blue states, you're going to have extremism. And so if you're a moderate Republican, you shouldn't be afraid of me. I consistently reach out to try and find middle ground because I don't believe that's a horrible place to be. I believe that that's what our country was designed to do, and that's where you get your best ideas.
Yes, that it's not so much like one side's correct, but the other side's not, and it's finding that middle ground compromise. And
correct.
We're hearing that Republicans aren't willing to compromise with the Democrats. Democrats aren't willing to compromise with the Republicans, hence why we are still in the shutdown. And like you said, that the House Speaker has not called them back to negotiate.
Correct. Nor did they try to negotiate with us prior to the continuing resolution. So it's their way or no way. And again, I have to articulate, they have the ability to open up the government right now. So I call upon the Speaker to bring us back, and I call upon the Senate to eliminate to apply the nuclear option, which they did this week in order to pass 100 judges. They did that this week.
And one other thing before we go to the phone lines. So with SNAP benefits, that's what a lot of people are worried about, especially with the new month coming up. And during government shutdowns, and we never lost SNAP benefits before, correct?
You are correct.
So we never lost them before, and we're losing them now. And isn't that something?
Let's talk about why we've never lost them before. Because in 2018 and other shutdowns, the Congress or appropriations have provided an emergency fund to be used in this particular instance. This administration is choosing
to not
use it.
Okay, because that is one thing that funding is there, and
it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Right. Trigger.
I believe is it the USDA that holds those funds?
You are correct.
Okay, so the USDA holds those funds. They're able to release them, but they're not doing so. During a government shutdown, they're able to do that. They shut down or not, they're able to still release those funds. So without those being released, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of food, and they're still blaming it that House isn't in session. What are we doing? So Joe's telling me that we do have 3 callers. So we are going to go to the phone
I just want to say,
yes,
because this is an important part of this, it is cruel to try and punish the most vulnerable populations by taking food off the table. I was a township trustee for 15 years. It was my priority to make sure that people had shelter, people had food and access to medication and access to health care. This is in my wheelhouse. I did this for 15 years. So ultimately, if you are in that situation, please depend upon and look up the Northwest Indiana Food Bank. I've been talking to Victor. Also, many churches in our area have mobile food banks.
I have been seeing that Northwest community, they are coming together during this time, and it's a very beautiful thing to see. And that's one thing that you don't have to worry about red or blue or whatever some individual wants to identify as for their political beliefs.
You are correct. And as a
you
township
can come
trustee, I
together.
wholeheartedly believe that.
Mhm.
I acted upon that, not just in words, but in deeds when there was flooding in Munster. But in this particular instance, like I said, the Northwest Indiana Food Bank, who's going above and beyond to figure out solutions for individuals,
Mhm.
they have Saturday. I know this weekend they have a mobile unit at their Maryville office. The other churches in the area have mobile units. I know in Valparaiso, the Center Township trustee is figuring out a way. I'm sure Adrian is going to have a plan, a strategic plan to make sure that people don't go hungry. And my job within that,
Mhm.
at 30,000 feet, is to make sure I do everything I can to reopen the government and find solutions to this.
Mhm. And I see one question here, and then we're going to go to our phone lines. And it is, as a political figure, how do you combat the spread of misinformation that is so prominent on the internet from both sides?
Yeah,
Because we're
absolutely.
seeing tons of that.
Correct. How I combat it is how
Mhm.
I act and operate. I do not pass misinformation,
Mhm.
uh, and I'm just an honest person. I try to be honest because my father, who was a state senator who loved people, said dignity, dignity, honesty, honesty. And so misinformation, so one step farther is algorithms that get passed and people believe what they see and they get fed more and more information. There are bad actors on a global level that want to be able to see us divided, want to see us in a chaotic state so
Mhm.
that they can thrive. And that's very, very real. And so one thing that we can do is put down the algorithms for a while and get to talk to people and find out human values and their cultural differences and what we can do to come together. People want to provide for their families and people want to be protected and live in a safe community. Those are priorities of what I do. And so ultimately, my speeches, my communications, my actions, and my beliefs are factually driven. Now, I may make mistakes. I'm a human being. I may get something wrong, but purposefully saying things that are not true to advance my agenda is something beyond my capacity to do
Mhm.
and beyond my comprehension how other individuals can do that with a conscience.
All right. Thank you. So now we're going to go to our phone lines. So remember, callers, question straight to the point, and then we are going to hang up right away just so that way we can have the congressman answer. So, good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking my call. Congressman Ravan, the last time we spoke on air, you said we needed crypto regulations, but you voted no on the Genius Act, the very bill that aligns stablecoins with ISO 20022 worldwide standards for seamless global payments and tech innovation. How does blocking the Genius Act help Northwest Indiana families when it risks leaving us out of the Fed's 2020 migration boom?
Sure. So, for that particular act, and I thank you for that question, and I thank you for always bringing crypto into the world of what's going on, and you're very knowledgeable with that. That particular piece of legislation didn't go far enough,
Mm-hmm.
and it put at risk pension funds. And communications that I had with the AFL-CIO and other unions believe that it didn't do enough to be able to protect working men and women for investments in crypto, and the guidelines and regulations didn't go far enough for me. And so, as this develops as part of our economy and as it solidifies or validates itself, I will always look at legislation that protects consumers and opens up markets. That is my job, and I've consistently done that. In this particular instance, I believe through thorough investigations that that bill did not go far enough as far as protecting people. And as we go forward, I will always look at legislation to do so.
All right. We have another caller. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yeah, you talk about the Affordable Care Act and those premiums. There's the only good thing that came out of that is they're covering people to their 26. When the Democrats, I'm a former Democrat, supposed to be the party of the people, but when you guys had the chance to get Medicare for all, you didn't do it. So you can't quit throwing blame on the other parties. It's like you guys were in the position to get Medicare for all. It would have gave everybody health care, and you guys failed to do it.
Well, I think
Thank you,
that,
caller.
I haven't voted on anything for Medicare for all because it hasn't been in front of me. So he's going decades back.
I was going to say, wouldn't that be just considered universal health care?
It is universal
Okay.
health care. And I think the Affordable Care Act isn't perfect, but it's a beginning to be able to make health care affordable. And so in U.S. government, unfortunately, in the process, when that was going on in a bipartisan way in order to get things done, because there was you always want to do that. So at the underlying part of his question is exactly what I'm talking about. We are at a healthcare crisis, and we need to make sure that people have access to healthcare, and that families and senior citizens and veterans and the most vulnerable, no matter where you live, have access to healthcare. The other real factor, and this doesn't, on WGOB, people don't talk about this a lot because it's not in our sphere, but rural hospitals, there are major cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. Close. They're literally closing. And Indiana is impacted. Rural healthcare, when someone has to go 40 miles when you're delivering a baby, or when there is no obstetrician anywhere around to be able to take care of anyone and there's an emergency, those are real life situations that are going on in Indiana. I'm on pieces of legislation to make sure we correct this instance. And the big, beautiful bill literally decimates funding to rural hospitals and rural healthcare. These are real issues. So the underlying question is, he's saying, you didn't do this, you're pointing fingers. I'm all about finding solutions. And the solution currently is making sure we allow these tax credits, do it for 2 years, and then go forward and find solutions. This can't be a winner take all. We should have we should have access to health care for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And alongside with that, and when people are talking about healthcare and all of the different things that is needed for that, and we're seeing the blame put both sides, it's very interesting because I feel that if the Republicans had a healthcare plan, it wouldn't be as a pressing matter, because then, like you said, Democrats and Republicans come together. Okay, what is this healthcare plan? What changes from the Affordable Health Care Act? Is it better? Is it worse? What can we do to make this better for the people? But we're not seeing, is there a healthcare plan that the Republicans have, or is this the only one that we're seeing?
I'm not aware of one.
Okay.
I know that their strategy has been to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. They're allowing these tax credits to expire. Again, you have to understand. So tax credits, right? Mm-hmm. The tax credits that are in the big, beautiful bill, they made them permanent. Every other tax credits are usually temporary because you have to readjust. This is a strategic plan to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. And so they've cut Medicare and Medicaid through the big, beautiful bill. And ultimately, what we have to do is have a plan. And I don't like putting a brush over every Republican. There are Republicans that may have a plan.
Yes.
I just not have seen it, nor has it been advanced by leadership.
Okay.
Or been talked about.
Okay. Yes.
I have many friends who are Republicans and colleagues that I respect that want to see and make sure people have access to health care.
All right. And we have another caller. We're going to go to that one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, in hindsight, don't you wish you would have done what the founding fathers set up for our country and honored our borders instead of allowing 21 illegal million people to come in here who are now 1/3 of the total gross amount of SNAP benefits, meaning 1/3, over $1 trillion a year goes right out the window to illegals, which means United States citizens don't get SNAP benefits. You guys spent 4 years flying illegals in here, and now you got the problem you're in because you voted to keep the borders open with Joe Biden. Don't you think you would have honored what the forefounders said and said, we have a country with borders? Wouldn't that have made more sense?
All right. Thank you, caller.
Surprised he's calling in to be on the air, but the fact of the matter is we didn't vote to keep the borders open, mm-hmm. but he hits a wonderful point. We need a bipartisan approach towards immigration because what you have is a pendulum that swings back and forth, mm-hmm. And that we need to find middle ground on that. That is a perfect example. There needs to be legislation. There was a senator from Nebraska that put forth last February or October or right before the Trump administration came into office, and they had worked on it, Democrats and Republicans, to be able to make sure that our border was secure, that it was strong, and that we had a humane policy. We still have to understand that of course, absolutely, I am against open borders because we need to know and we need to make sure that people who are bad actors or criminals in our country as a national security level need to be removed, clearly. But we need to be able to do it in a humane way. And we have to understand our country also is founded by immigrants. And we are still the greatest country in the world that attracts talent, that attracts hard workers, and people who want to achieve the American dream. And we have to be able to do that in a humane way. So now more than ever, do we need an immigration policy that goes through a House, 435 members, that has a different perspective, and a Senate that we can pass so that the pendulum, because right now the pendulum is absolutely with enforcement and deportation, where less and less individuals are coming to this country. And then before, obviously, there were more individuals that came in. So obviously, what I am for is making sure that we have policies in place that protect our borders, this piece of legislation had technology that allowed us to protect our borders and our ports to make sure that we can identify fentanyl, that we can identify medications that are coming in that are duplicated in other countries that are dangerous, that are being sold on the street. All of those things need to be monitored, and we have the technology to protect our ports and our borders and to make sure we have a strong, safe policy and humane. The pendulum swinging is when you have brutality and inhumane treatment of individuals. I think our country has a very, very low appetite for that. That is not what we are founded on. We are not founded on intimidation and fear, and we have to be able to overcome that, and quickly.
I was going to say that's what we're seeing a lot more. And with immigration, I was doing a little bit of research, and that people are saying mass deportations, get every single immigrant out of here. And if they're trying to also do that with birthright citizenship as well. And if immigrants come into this country, they have a child, that's kind of the term anchor baby a little bit. Now, mass deportations would, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they would slow down the rate of the economy and cut federal income and will increase rates of poverty. Poverty is linked to crime, even though, according to PNAS, undocumented migrants are 2 times less likely to commit violent crimes than natural-born citizens per capita crime rates. Now, if allowed undocumented migrants continue to be productive providers to our economy, if we offer them a pathway to residency or citizenship, because that's one thing that we are not seeing with this administration is a pathway. We have seen this with Democrats and Republicans before, regardless of who was in House, that they were offering a pathway to citizenship. So if we offer them a pathway, they can provide to our economy to a higher degree. Because if they're able to start paying more taxes, then that benefits our economy. Higher wages, so then when you have citizenship or residency, you not only increase the quality of life, increase the growth on the economy, but you also reduce the crime rates as well. So is that something that is correct, or is that something that we're seeing false information on?
You have this study in front of you. You have the facts. The facts are that individuals who come here from other countries are an enormous part of our economic engine, and they are willing to do the jobs that it takes to keep our country running. And yes, there should be a pathway to citizenship. And I was a township trustee. You weren't eligible, to take the argument off that all of these dollars and everything is going to immigrants who aren't here as citizens is factually untrue.
Yes,
in our area,
$95.6 billion that they pay, but only about 1% of that goes to them.
So my point is, I of course want to look at all of that. But the fact of the matter is that I am of the belief that a pathway to citizenship allows for our neighbors and our friends to be able to participate in our country. And also, I've had the opportunity 2 times out of 5, and then 2 times as a township trustee, to be at the to naturalize citizens at Wolf Lake. And people have great pride in coming here and becoming citizens. And I think that's the greatest part of our country, is that we allow individuals to come here, to be able to seek the American dream and to work extremely hard and to be able to provide for their families. And I think you hit the nail on the head with misinformation, fear, and intimidation, as opposed to where we can be as far as offering. Of course, we want to secure our borders, and of course, we don't want criminals to come here and cause pain and havoc and break laws in our nation. And if we have the opportunity to have those individuals removed, we should take it. But the fact of the matter is that if you look at productive society, because then you have to tie in. You go to a grocery store, grocery prices are up. Well, I have the ability, as I've consistently met with the Farm Bureau, the agricultural industry in Indiana. It's one of our economic booms. We provide billions and billions of dollars in businesses through our agricultural economies in Indiana. When I meet with the farmers, the tariffs are causing their markets to close. So soybean and corn in China, that market is closed. And I'm going to get to the point. Their input costs are doubling and tripling. So not only are there's less demand for their product, but yet their costs or their inputs are rising at skyrocketing rates. And they utilize the H-2A immigration, where people come here and work in the fields to be able to pick the crops, so that we do that. Less and less and less and less individuals from other countries are coming here to fulfill those jobs out of fear of what might happen to them and their families while they're here. So if you have less workers, you have higher input costs, and you have closed markets, that is a prescription for higher costs and inflation. I have a small business owner that called me, and I saw him, a friend. He owns a restaurant. His bags of lettuce over the last 3 weeks went from $5.99 to $12.99 within a week. These are very real costs that are going to put small businesses out, and we have to find solutions to that. So it's all tied into the greater economy. You were talking about the productivity of immigrants in our country. The steel industry brought people in from all over the world. Northwest Indiana is a melting pot. My father has tears in his eyes when he talks about how people from all around the world, Eastern European, South America, Mexico, Puerto Rico, came to the steel industry, and everybody worked, lived together, and provided for their families. And they had this type of bond that was inseparable. If you said, I came from the harbor, it meant you understood a worldly view.
There was a certain value.
There's a certain value to that. And that's what our country is founded on. That's what Northwest Indiana is founded on. And I think we have to get back to the principles. So to cut to the chase, we need a bipartisan approach that does that. And I'm open to looking at that, moving it forward, and voting for something that has policy set in place so the pendulum doesn't swing with every 4 years when you have a president.
So I know it is 8:09. Do we have to get him out of here? Yes. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and having a conversation with me, and also to kind of give our viewers an insight on what's going on alongside with this government shutdown, with the redistricting, and just everything happening in the world. We always appreciate you coming on these airways with us. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to communicate with listeners of Northwest Indiana, and for WJOB, all that they do to be a stakeholder and to do your very best to get accurate, factual information out into the community. I appreciate it. And if there's anybody who needs any type of assistance from my office, you can give us a call at 219-795-1844. We can help out with Social Security, Veteran Affairs, immigration, anything to do with Medicare or Medicaid. Please give our office a call, and I'm honored to serve as your member of Congress.
There we go. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back. You're listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you are also watching live on YouTube. So, we are going to do traffic and weather, and then we're going to talk for maybe about, there you go. Oh, wait, bring it to just a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
I just feel so weird cutting out your name like
I
that. It's like
know.
OCD.
Yeah, because that I was the same way when starting. I was like, okay, well, wouldn't we center it and make it all like you have all the space on the sides and the person in the center? And then they were like, no, that's wrong. And I was just like, what do you mean that's wrong? And then you watch a bunch of
Well,
movies.
yeah, I was gonna say now you kind of see it. Like no one ever is like standing in the middle and like looking at you. It just looks weird. It does.
Yes,
So.
it's very weird because I would watch movies and because I always thought just like with the news because they center them on the news. So I was just like, cool, that's what you do. But then I was watching movies and TV shows and how they have all the nose room, that's what that's called, and then headroom, forgot what this is called, but yeah. And Jake Giles' class for TV production.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
They kind of look the same.
For TV production, did you take?
I had audio production with Jake. That was the only class I've ever taken with him.
Man,
it was a fun class though.
TV production, that's a really fun class, and Matt and I will attest to that because we made a bunch of really fun commercials and different kinds of videos for that class, and it was so funny because either Matt or I were always used as people's actors for it. So I was able to dress in a bunch of different costumes. For that class, I was in a wedding dress, so I sent my mom a picture and freaked her out because she was just like, all right, don't sign anything. So I was able to be in a wedding dress. I was able to be Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which was super cool because it was a big old dress, and it was very heavy, and it was like corset, so I was just like, my airways are all suffocated and everything. And then Matt put me in a banana costume, and that was probably one of the highlights of the time. I know. So mine and Joe's family members are in the chat. My abuelita, she's in there. Shout out to my grandma. And then Joe, your dad's in the chat.
Yeah, well, he's on my YouTube account too. So it
what's
says
up,
my
Mr.
name.
Semino? How you doing?
Dude, so he has this big thing or I wouldn't say he. We had this huge conversation yesterday, and we were talking about, like what questions do we ask Frank Mervan? So
Yes.
it just went to like the point where we were like, what if we just call him like Mr. Van?
Mr. Van.
Yeah, and be like, hey, Mr. Van, is there like a Mrs. Van? And then we just like went on like a tangent about like vans. Or like, Mr. Mervan, how many vans do you have exactly?
Do you travel in a van?
Do you travel in a van? What brand of van? I mean, there's so many. Is it a minivan? Is it like a storage van, like a moving van? Like, what kind of van do you have? And I was gonna ask him these questions, but I was like, I don't know if he's gonna take it seriously or not.
Joe's in his Snuggie, like his knees are like this. He's like, so, what kind of van do you got?
What kind of van you got? Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I was gonna I brought a sweatshirt and a T-shirt specifically for the reason of like, I didn't want to be in a Snuggie when the governor showed up. And then
Congressman, not governor.
Congressman, sorry.
There you go. I was gonna say because we've been on the airways and we've had some individuals that we say their titles wrong and they were very heated.
Yeah,
I don't think Mervan's gonna be like that, but
Congressman Mervan,
Congressman
Van. Mr. Van.
Mr. Van.
Congressman Mr. Van.
He's probably laughing on his way to his next meeting he has to go to.
Yeah, so I mean, they walked in, they're like, the other lady, she's so nice. She handed me her card the last time she was here.
Drew, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, I love it, and I was like, I'm not taking it off.
Yeah,
because I was fully ready to kind of like not like dress up because you know me, I don't dress up, but like at least dress more, like not have a Snuggie on for the congressman.
Put on some jeans.
Yeah, just slip in some jeans.
Put on your fancy sweatpants that you have.
Yeah, the fanciest sweatpants I own, my Lululemon sweatpants.
Do you actually?
I have multiple pair of Lululemon sweatpants.
See, I always see Lululemons as like leggings.
No, guys, dude, there's so many guys apparel for
But
Lululemon.
it's so expensive.
They wear shorts, t-shirts. I know, it's super. My ex-girlfriend got me one pair, and they're like white, and I love them. I wear them still. And then I forgot who got me my first pair, but I remember The reason I got into Lululemons is because one girl told me in my high school, she was like, "Yeah, they're so comfortable." And one time, I got stabbed, like I got poked, not like stabbed. I got poked by something like a pole or something,
Mhm.
and she's like, it like put a hole in my leg, but the leggings didn't rip,
Mhm.
and I was like, these must be the greatest pairs of pants ever invented. Like I was like, I need me a pair of sweatpants.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I love them, dude. I love Lululemon. Not so much the CEO, if you know anything about Lululemon. But
I don't know that scandal, so I'll
you
have to
don't?
look that up.
Oh
I
my
don't own
goodness.
Lululemon. I
Oh
think
my
they're an
goodness.
overpriced brand. I'm sorry,
Wait,
Lululemon. You're probably a very
I
great
probably
brand.
can't even like tell you it on air.
No, you can tell me later.
All right.
You also
I'll tell you later.
there's a different story you forgot to tell me. It was something about class, and we'll get into that later. That's not for the air. You're telling me something in class, and then you're like, I'll tell you later, and you never did. And I was just like,
Oh,
where's the
great.
story? But yeah, no, I don't own Lululemon. I'm more of like, because it's athletic wear, right? Athletic leisure wear.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Nike person, Nike, Adidas. So when I saw Lululemon kind of uprise, I was just like, well, it's like with somebody in an iPhone and Android, you're like dead set on the Apple, even though Android may have all the better features. I shouldn't say may have. Apple just copies Android, Samsung all the time. But yeah, it's like you're still stuck in your ways that you don't kind of venture out. So I'm kind of like that with Nike. So that's why I'm like, I haven't ventured out to Lululemon. And then I saw their prices and I'm like, nope, Nike's already very expensive for me. I'm all good.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'll stick with my two sweatpants. I'll definitely any other form of Lululemon that I'll get will be gifted to me.
There you go. We were talking about Christmas earlier, and you forgot about that whole conversation. We were talking about like gift giving, and I made the
Oh.
joke that this year everybody's getting a blanket.
Mhm.
But everybody in my family is above the age of 21 that are adults at least,
That's
and
usually how that works.
yes. Well, I mean, like at 18 you're an adult, but you can't legally drink, so there's that. But I was telling my brother, I was like, might as well just get everybody a blanket and a bottle of wine. Here you go.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. And I said that to my family. They're like, that's awesome. That's great. I'm like, cool, because that's what you guys are getting. Because I think last year everybody got some kind of like Christmas decoration globe that lit up. So this year, I think everybody's gonna need a blanket. Because one year, me and my brother got everybody candles. Everybody got a different candle. We do got colors, but everybody got a candle. And I was like, all right, cool. And one family member, they just love the smell of this candle. And we also, like, another family got everybody Visa gift cards, $25 Visa gift cards. So,
Use the gift card to get another candle.
so what they told me, because I got it from my job, and I'm sure you can get this candle anywhere else, but I got it from my job. And they said, if we give you our Visa gift cards, can you buy out all the candles at your job and bring them to us? And I was like, okay. So I show up on their doorstep a few weeks later with 6 candles and the rest of the gift card. I was like, here you go. There's like, no, use it for gas. And there was like $5 left on it. And I was like, okay.
Matt was debating on going to the Come Frolic.
I think he's going to go, yeah.
Because he doesn't have gas, so maybe give him the Visa gift card.
That's already been used in my
On
old
gas.
car that I no longer have.
Rest in
But we
peace.
do have 2 callers, so let's go to the phone lines.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. As you both move forward in your careers, ask yourself why Mervan would come on with you, but refuses to come on with Tom Dabberton.
I don't know. I could not answer that for you. I was just told yesterday that he will be coming on the show today.
And here's the Mervan's weak. He's not stupid. And for him to take a stance now, after he stood by with his hands in his pockets, while illegals flooded our borders and did absolutely nothing, and he knows, Mervan's weak. He's not stupid. He knows that if he gets into the word salad with you and talks more and more and goes on to how lettuce is now $12 instead of $5, he knows it's less calls he has to take from the critical thinking public. And you allowed yourself to get drawn into it. So constructive criticism, as you move forward in your careers, as I said, ask yourself why he came on with you, but continually refuses to come on with Dabberton. because Dabberton would not have allowed him to do that.
All right. Thank you for your call.
We'll ask Tom.
Yeah, we'll ask him. All right. We got another caller?
We do.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Let me just tell you, and I was going to call in, but I said, no, I want to leave it to the people who want to talk to Frank Mervan, okay? Be respectful. And no, you don't go into somebody ready to beat you up already. And so, I mean, he has a right to, I mean, most time people won't do that. They say like, hey, if you're going to beat me up, I think you all did it. You say, call and whatever question you may have, and he'll answer it. That was appropriate. Now, the border situation, and that was the question I would ask Mervan if I would have called in. Hey, when they wanted to close the border, it was the Democrats wanted to close the border. You all probably don't remember, and they say no, don't do this because it makes the Democrats look good if it closed. So the Republicans refused to do that. Now you might not know about that, but anybody who's listening, that last caller, he said. So Frank Mervan was saying that, basically they were saying that why does he said we want to do it. Not only Frank Mervan, but the Democrats wanted to ask the Republicans, but they got Johnson gets his marching orders from the President of the United States. No, don't do this. This makes the Democrat look good. And that's why they didn't close. But he was for closing the borders. And again, but the Republicans needed to do they took their marching orders from the President of the United States. Now, if I'm lying, I wish somebody called me out on it. Okay? With that, have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You had a good show. You had a good show. Respectfully.
Thank you.
We got one more. Someone else decided to call in.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Joe, Adrianna, give me 27 seconds. Matlock, I'll call you out on it because what the Democrats wanted in that, when they were calling for the closing of the border, was to allow 5,000 illegals a day to continue to come across the border. Now, Joe, quick, 59er math. 5,000 a day per month, 12 months in a year, illegals across the border. Matlock, when you call, tell the whole truth. And the Republicans said no, 0 illegals across the border. Matlock, back up what your mouth says.
All right, we're going to end it there, mainly because we are getting kicked out. Yes, I know Mastering Local Marketing is coming on. We had to take our callers. Our callers have their opinions, and we want to make sure that they are heard. So thank you, callers, for all calling in during that segment. You guys' opinions are very much appreciated and respected. So we are going to end it there. You are listening to Adrianna in the AM on WJLB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. We are going to take a break, play some spots, and then we have Mastering Local Marketing coming up, so don't go anywhere for these 2 episodes.
Goodbye.